Hello everybody, today we watched the new movie starring Jackie Chan and Bing Chillin'. No, not Ninja Turtles, but Hidden Strike. So Aiden, what is the plot of Hidden Strike?
Hidden Strike is Chinese propaganda. John Cena is with the Americans, and the Americans are in Iraq trying to get the nuclear launch codes from an oil field. And the oil field is controlled by the Chinese government. And the Chinese government says that's bad and sends Jackie Chan out there to stop the Americans. And John Cena's like, oh, you know what, China? You're right. So the Chinese government's strongest soldiers team up to fight some guy and his Mad Max Iraqi friends. Joe, what'd you think of
Hidden Strike?
Strike.
Let's see. What can I say about Hidden Strike? This movie is it's not a good movie. It has, well, like you said, it is literally Chinese propaganda. It is the first probably half of this movie. Not even, I say the first like 30 minutes of this movie is boring Chinese propaganda shit that doesn't even matter, and then we finally get, like, I think halfway through the movie, a fight scene on a bus, a CGI bus, that is, and the choreography is super choppy. But then, when Jackie Chan and John Cena show up, it's a pretty okay, fun little adventure. I wish we could have got that for the entire time, because the 30 minutes that we were watching, the rest of it is just kind of, it's an uneven 1/2 star movie, because you're just like, this is like, what? Half this movie is good, half of this movie isn't good. It's very uneven. That's the best words to describe it, I think, is uneven.
I would agree. Going off of what Joe said, the movie is incredibly dull when John Cena and Jackie Chan aren't on screen, with effects that can be equated to the Amazing Bulk, that famously bad Purple Hulk ripoff.
Oh.
The graphics are terrible. They look like stock. I think every dollar that this movie had was put into the cast of John Cena and Jackie Chan, but that pulls up the terrible script immensely. The best part of this movie is when Jackie Chan and John Cena fight. You kind of see their respective styles. Like, Jackie Chan is doing like kung fu, and you've got John Cena doing kind of like wrestle type moves, like very brawn, heavy punches and stuff. And it's a cool contrast, and that's added on in a lot of the very few action scenes that are in this movie. The villain is lame, boring, and weak, and the only like development he has that makes us not like him supposedly is when he kills John Cena's brother, who doesn't look like he could at all be related to John Cena.
Yeah.
At one point, John Cena says, "Oh my God, you're my brother, bro." And then in the next scene, he gets killed. And then John Cena isn't even sad about it, but he tells Jackie Chan, he's like, "My brother got killed."
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, it's just horrendous. Jackie Chan does some of his shtick. It's a little less impressive now that he's like 75 years old and has to do a lot of it over green screens rather than, "Hey Jackie Chan, why don't you lean over a 20 fucking story drop while we like throw ping pong balls at you that you gotta juggle or something."
Yep.
This is not Police Story or Drunken Master for sure. This is, but Jackie does his shtick. He can still do his shtick even though it's just on a green screen now and done safe. But I mean, he's still very like acrobatic and can hold his own on the martial arts stuff. And there's golden eggs in this turd, and those golden eggs are when Jackie Chan and John Cena get a bounce off each other. I think with better material, Jackie Chan and John Cena could make a pretty fun little buddy adventure, similar to how he made a lot of his American co-productions like Rush Hour or Shanghai Nights, etc., where he teams up with an American actor who can kind of match his energy and create a creative combo. I thought that stuff was fun, but it mostly sucked. And what did you think of Hidden Strike, or whatever the generic ass name for this movie is?
Hidden Strike is really bad, except when John Cena and Jackie Chan are together. The setup for the movie with the oil field in Iraq or whatever the hell's going on is really boring. All of the CGI car and helicopter chases are super stank. And the movie really doesn't even begin to come to life until the John Cena Jackie Chan fight scene, which is the best part of the movie. Because they're both great physical performers and they have a fun chemistry together. And honestly, even when they're not fighting, they're pretty good together. They don't actually get that many action scenes together, which is a shame. And like a better movie with these two would probably be a lot of fun, but it kind of all gets lost in the mystery meat of the rest of this movie of typical boring Chinese propaganda movie stuff of talking about land deals and oil fields and mining contracts. That one fight scene definitely perks things up for a while, and then it's back to the old status quo. It's very ugly, very plain. I'm guessing Netflix shelled out for the post-production because this movie was shot 5 years ago and left unfinished because nobody cared. And then Netflix somehow ended up with it, and it looks like they wrapped up the post-production on this in 2 weeks and shipped it out. Yeah, I can see why it was sat on for 5 years, because it's not really charming. It's got the typical Chinese problems, but whenever Bing Chillin and Jackie Chan get some scenes together, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Also, the production values are super low, even beyond the really bad CGI, like the gunfight scene where John Cena's on the cardboard tower in front of a space JPEG. There's some really rough elements of this movie.
Oh yeah.
It's largely very boring with one or two pretty decent action scenes. And it's really just a proof of concept for the potential this pairing could have that'll probably never happen, because Jackie Chan's now 70, he was 65 when this was filmed, and John Cena's being sucked into the orbit of a cape shit cinematic universe and won't ever be allowed to do anything like this again. So yeah, I guess it's a bit of a missed potential to have these two together and give a little taste of what they could do, and then just wash it all away with the most boring shit imaginable. Anyway, Joe, would you recommend Hidden Strike?
I honestly will probably have to say I cannot recommend this movie, because even though you have the fun of John Cena and Jackie Chan, you could watch their fights on YouTube and get the gist of this movie. So just, you want to see what that could be like, just Google Jackie Chan, John Cena. You'll probably find these same scenes from this boring ass movie and just get it summed up for you instead of wasting your, what is this, an hour and something?
Hour 45.
Hour 45 too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's probably just an hour and 15 too long. There's a half hour of good nuggets shoved into this shit pile.
if they could have cut the first half of the movie, maybe it would have, and fit something else like from the get-go, it probably would have turned out better. Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it just is, it's not very good, unfortunately.
This is our Expendables 4 prequel.
Yes, this is, because this is by the guy who made Expendables 4. Or,
Yep.
yeah, who made it, I guess.
Which
Probably
comes
not.
out next week.
It's not next week.
No, it's a couple
September.
weeks.
From now, some
September.
pretty relatively soon.
Yeah, I'd say September-ish.
A few weeks comes
Yeah.
out. Not long.
Yep, we'll be watching before we know it, so it will be interesting for sure to see if he's learned from his mistakes in the time that he pulled this movie out from development hell.
I don't think he had anything to do with this coming out of development hell.
Probably not.
I'm sure it was just floating around and someone at Netflix said, oh, here's a thing we can buy for $1,000.
Yeah, they probably bought it. They're like, hey, can you direct this? And he's like, what do you want me to do?
Well, they already filmed it 5 years ago. He filmed it 5 years ago, and then
So what, they just attached his name to it?
it never got released because no one cared. And then Netflix bought the mostly finished movie and popped it out.
Yep.
Definitely. That is just unfortunate.
Yep.
Really too bad that it didn't. That was stuck for so long, and that this movie just. It's sad to see a movie with Jackie Chan and John Cena doesn't live up to Jackie Chan and John Cena, and that's a little disappointing.
Right. Well, I personally would not recommend this movie. I thought it was garbage.
Yep.
Like I said, I think Joe kind of said it. I recommend watch the Jackie Chan, John Cena stuff on YouTube, like the fight scene between the two, and think, what if we got a truly good movie
Yep.
in this nature, and then never think about it again.
Agreed.
So, Aiden, would you recommend Hidden Strike?
Hard pass. I know this is a Netflix movie, so it's a free thing to watch when you're drunk one night, but even then, outside of one or two pretty good fight scenes, there's a lot of shit going on around it that makes it just not worth the slog. So I'm gonna have to give a pass on whatever the hell this thing's called, Heavy Strike.
Hidden Strike.
The most generic title of all time.
Yep. And no reason for why they even call it.
Alright, guys, we'll see you next time with our next movie.
Yep. See you next
Which is
time.
going to be the Meg 2.
It will be the Meg 2.